Hi there, everybody. My name is Mash. On Twitch, I go by EZ0MASH, but you know, you can just call me Mash. Anyways, I don't do a lot of speedrunning stuff for Monster Hunter. I do ILs mainly. I don't play this game that often, but I do sink a lot of time into it. I got about 400 hours in this game so far. There's definitely much better people in the community that are, you know, really kicking this game up a notch, especially for doing any percent runs and stuff like that. I'm not at all that great at this game as far as ILs go, but I do play this game pretty well compared to, you know, just a rando. So anyways, I'm going to showcase some ILs and some specific weapon setups that I got going. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to load up the longsword build that I have going here. And this one's a bit rough on the edges, but I did want to have at least 4 weapons that we're going to be showcasing through various hunts. So this one's going to be used for some pretty simple fights. And so the first one that we're going to end up doing here is a arena fight with a Pookie Pookie. And if anybody knows what that is, you'll see what happens. But anyway, so we're going to load up that hunt there. So that is this one right here. So this is a low rank hunt. We're definitely going to see some high rank hunts, but we're going to start off easy and then we're going to work ourselves into that. Kind of give you guys a taste of what this game does have in it, in the IL portion of it. Anyways, as this hunt's loading up, we're going to do a really important thing, and that's eat. Every hunter needs to have a full belly so that they can perform really well out on their hunts and, you know, gain those benefits. I am running this game on the PS4 Pro, so the load speed is, like, really, really high in comparison to people that are using stock hard drives or, you know, non-PS4 Pros. So normally the hunt would still be loading even after I've eaten here, but it's already done, so now we can just depart. Alright, so this is an arena fight. We're fighting a Pookie Pookie. I don't really need anything else out of here. I probably do want those antidotes, though. And I'm rolling like a dumb bum. Alright, so first thing we do, we're gonna get across to the... I'm gonna grab the rope, thanks. Well, it's been a while since I've done longsword. It was the first weapon I started using when I started playing this game. But anyways, we're gonna go hop on into this. Now, I do have the wrong items set up, but it doesn't matter because I'm using most of the same items anyways. There's the Pookie Pookie. So we're gonna get in this fight here. I'm gonna quickly throw on a pretty sweet mantle that you can get later in the game. It's the Rocksteady mantle. It pretty much nullifies a lot of attacks and reduces damage. And that's the idea here. I'm attacking the wrong way because I'm silly. This Pookie Pookie is not going to do a whole lot of damage, but we are going to wreck him. Where did he go? So he's going to go up here, he's going to eat. Kinda don't want him to do that. We're dealing not too much damage compared to some of the other weapons that we're going to be seeing at some point in later runs. But anyways, we've chopped off its tail. It's pretty much dead. In that state where it's going to be dead very shortly. Fortunately, we're not getting some crazy anime slashes off, but it's fine. this weapon actually does take a little bit of practice to get consistent with. I went the wrong direction for whatever reason there. Alright, so he's done. Not too challenging of a fight, really. One of the more challenging fights that I did have a lot of trouble with when it came out, actually, was the Final Fantasy XIV crossover. If anybody is familiar with the Final Fantasy XIV online game, they had a crossover event where we had to fight a behemoth. And I can say that that fight is very difficult. 50 plus attempts it took me before I actually slayed it for the first time. And even then, it's still a pain in the ass. And I resorted to tactics, which involved me just mounting the monster and dealing damage over and over again until it automatically switched to phase 3. And I won the fight that way. But that takes way too long. That took me pretty much the entirety of 40, almost 50 minutes that you have during a hunt. So if you get to 50 minutes, you lose the mission. So Sword and shields are actually a really decent weapon. They have a lot of uses. They're really good in support setups and for support groups if you're doing multiplayer hunts. So pretty good, in all honesty. So our next hunt here is going to be a Rathalos. Normally, Rathaloses give you a hard time because they fly, they breathe fire, and they can poison you if you get hit by their barbed tails. So we're going to make pretty quick work of this Rathalos. So we're going to do a quick gear swap once we join for hosting. So we're going to make a quick work of this Rathalos, and we did get a... Yeah. No thanks, EZ0MASH. You're tempting, but we're not doing that. Where is... Where is... Where's the Rathalos? Where'd my Rathalos go is the question. I hate when this game does that. I can't find the Rathalos one. It's because of that quest popping that it changed a few things. Alright, so I guess we're going to skip the Rathalos. The Barroth was the next one that we're going to do, so we're just going to load up that one instead. If I find the Rathalos one, we'll come back to it. But we'll do a Barroth. So I'm going to switch to a bowgun set for this one. And we're going to use a setup that uses the Shattersight. So that's what we're going to use. And the reason why we're using the Shattersight is it has really high DPS output with piercing rounds. And we're going to use that to very good benefit when it comes to DPSing down this Mon. We're going to eat food, get an attack boost going into it, which will help speed up things. Art. All right. First thing we're going to do, we're going to load up our special ammo. We're going to go across the lift here. go down into Arrow's Pit. They're weak if you're looking for DPS in comparison to the other weapons, but I still think they're pretty decent. But anyways, we're gonna unload our special ammo on this boss first. Come on. I don't know why I call them bosses, but I guess it's just used to what we are from everything else. Now we're just gonna unload Shatter Scythe rounds, and I don't get any sort of like recoil or anything because of the setup that I have, so we can just unload shots into them like crazy. And again, the Rocksteady Mantle doing its work, preventing us from getting any kind of like knockbacks or anything. So the other thing that we have on that's helping us a lot is we have a special armor piece on that gives us the piercing round shots. It's actually from a Rathalos piece. He's just really annoyed with us for hurting him here. Alright, so our mantle wore off. We're gonna have to dodge a little bit here. Alright, so want to be a little bit careful. Batman roll here. We're going to put on the temporal now and go back to work on finishing them up. Just to be on the safe side. Yeah, dual blades are very, very good. I think they're a pretty simple weapon to use. You just got to get into demon mode by maxing out your special bar and just unload, and you can just rip things up pretty easily. Dual blades can get a little bit, you know, boring, I guess, in some cases, especially if it's your main weapon that you're using all the time. Because you just rip things and there's not a whole lot that you need to worry about. You just keep beating on them and then enter demon mode once your gauge is filled up and just unload. But it is really, really good damage output. You have a lot of mobility with it, so it definitely is a really good weapon to use, especially early on. Especially when it comes to like any percent runs, things like the dual blades or longsword are very good weapon choices. Hunting horn is another good alternative as well, because you can give yourself boosts and stuff like that. I particularly like the bow guns in this game. I enjoyed them quite a bit in previous Monster Hunters. In the Switch Monster Hunter that came out just a while back, I've been playing a bit of the other weapons as well, but mostly still bow gun. Bowgun is still a lot of fun in that game, especially. Yeah, heavy bowgun definitely is a top TA kind of thing. I'm not doing TA runs, unfortunately. I'm doing RTA style runs for the ILs. TA runs are pretty interesting, though. So, next thing we're going to do, we're going to switch up our gear here. Actually, let's load up the next hunt first. So, the next hunt we have here is See if that Raplos one is there now. No. Why is it not there? They're switching around. That's weird. I hate how the arena ones switch around every once in a while. That's super annoying. So we're gonna go right up to one that everybody enjoys a hell of a lot. Everybody's met this guy, right? Everybody's met this guy, I'm pretty sure. You have not played Monster Hunter Worlds, and you've not enjoyed the pinnacle of all boss mons, the Johto or whatever the fuck. I don't even know what his name really is, but I mean, everybody's fought this guy, and he's really... No one likes him. He doesn't have any friends, no one likes him. He's not fun. Not a very... No one likes him, so we're gonna go say hi to him at least. Okay, so we switched to a light bow gun here. We're going to be using this for a couple of hunts, depending on the order that we're going to do them in. I'm not doing them in any particular order, really, since I had to skip the Rathalos one, since the arena quest wasn't available. I like how it rotates around sometimes, but if it does come available, we'll do it. If not, then we'll press on. But so we're about 15 or so minutes into this so far. And we've already completed a couple hunts, so onwards we go. I think the next one we're going to do after this is the Odogaron. We're going to do that with the sword and shield. So we're going to go say hi to Frankerface Z, or whatever you would like to call the Odogaron, but he's a nice one. So this guy here, I don't think there's really much to say about him. He's just a walk in the park. He's easy. I mean, he's supposed to be challenging, especially for being a high rank mon. It's probably one of the first high rank mons you'll run into, from what I remember about playing this game when I was new to it. But for the most part, he's it's not that hard, really. With a full team, you could probably make work of this guy in like no time at all, really. He's super easy to deal with, and generally not too challenging. So far, nothing has been, but we'll be getting into a few more challenging ones at some point. So there's our little friend over there, just poking out of the water. He likes to throw his mud at us, which isn't that great, but he likes to do that a lot. Trying to get him debated onto these traps here so we can deal with them. There he is. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Fish Boy? So the particular light gun that I have, it can burst fire some of the rounds like thunder and water, which is pretty useful. Dodo here is pretty weak to thunder ammo. He's strong against water, so you don't want to be using that. Another way you could kill this guy is with piercing ammo as well. It's just a little bit harder to get piercing shots on him because he's a bit smaller than Baroth, so the piercing shots just don't work as well. And I forget the mod attachments that I have on this gun, but I've tried several of them, and the ones that I got on there now are best that I found for a variety of different hunts in general. One thing that makes the light bow gun better than the heavy bow gun is that you still have, you know, most of your mobility in general. We also don't want to step in those mud piles that he's leaving around because they're just not fun if you get stuck in them and they drain your stamina. They put a debuff on you. Want to be a little bit careful about that. If we can, we'll also try to hit him in the head with these shots. Alright, boy, what are you doing? Alright, so now he's back under the water. Can't do as much damage to him. Alright, so that was good use of our bowgun shots. Being an interesting boy today. He usually tries to run and gets to like solid ground, which is way better than fighting him down here. But today he's just chilling down here today. Doesn't want to run anywhere else right now. I also am not relying on my Palico a lot because I just set him up as a kind of like a farming Palico because I'm not too interested in Palico buffs, and Palico half the time doesn't want to do what you want, and unless I want... Alright, so that was me getting pegged by the Mr. Fish Boy there. That was wonderful. But we got surprise for him. I'm going to land some dragon rounds and finish that up. That was not how I wanted to see that happen. We're not too far away from our Mr. Fish Boy here. So it's not really that bad. Good thing that I have max potions. And I have a lot of rations. Alright. The Mr. Fish Boy, that was not very nice. Come up here. Come up here, please. Alright, I think Mr. Fish Boy has had enough of this. He's gonna move on. Yep. Alright, so now we're gonna chase him down. We're gonna give him the old slice of Rooney. But yeah, recoils, attachments on your weapons are generally what you want to have, because they allow you to just keep non-stop firing even some of the most powerful ammo. Interesting location. So slicing ammo used to be really, really good, and it got nerfed a bit. It's still really good, but not as good as it used to be. But, got some shots landed on him there. Goes too deep in the water, the slicing shots don't seem to go off half the time. But, they do quite a bit of work there, as we can see. Got a random turf war going on with the Faroth here. That's a thing that can happen in this game. Alright, there they go. They're fighting there. But we want to hit Mr. Fish Boy there. They're duking it out here. Who will reign supreme? I don't know. Probably not Mr. Fish Boy here. So one of the things you probably noticed is sometimes I'm not consuming shots, and that's because of the spare shot skill that's proccing here, and that's because of the light bow gun that I'm using. You can also get the set bonus from the set of gear as well, or from decorations. But I got it from this particular weapon, which is the Lunastra weapon, which was a mod that was added a while back now. Not one of the newer ones, but definitely one that was added around the time that they started adding new monsters to the game. Mr. Fish Boy here really showing us that he loves to jump in the water here. Yeah, this pair off is going to get really annoying really fast. Mr. Fish Boy here's trying to run, but we know where his home is. Is that gonna be running too much? So that was a use of one of the grapple points, which are the wedge beetles there. You can use them a lot to get around the map in various ways, jumping on monsters and all sorts of stuff like that. Almost got me in the mud there. Well, yeah, so we have a surprise, I guess. Pretty sure Mr. Fishboy is gonna die now at this point, because we have a pretty impressive visitor showing up. If anybody knows the memes that go along with this guy, you're gonna be in for a treat. I never really did enjoy fighting this guy, especially when he was tempered. Can't say the tempered versions were very fun at all. But Beetlejuice here, or, you know, F-14 Bomber, or whatever the hell you guys want to call him. He's got many names, but he's definitely not friendly. And we're seeing this. Yeah, he's bombing the shit out of him. Anyways. Fish Boy's finally dead. That took a little bit longer than I was hoping, but he's dead. So the only thing I don't like is the wait timer at the very end. I wish you could just skip it, but unfortunately you can't do that. Anyways, that quest is clear. I got time for a few more, at least. So Odogoron with Sword and Shield is the next thing we're gonna do. That one's actually pretty fun. And then we are gonna attempt to do Eater of Elders. We're doing these hunts in one shot as well. So if we do actually fail the hunt, I'm just gonna move on to the next one on my list here. So we are gonna do Eater of Elders because that's a pretty good staple one to do. It's a pretty difficult one to do, especially if you're new to the game and it's, you know, first few times you've attempted it. But it's something. So what we should do first is swap gear for the Odogoron here. So we're gonna go to change equipment, float our sword and shields, and we're gonna change our items. To our sword and shield loadout. So we're using the Empress sword and shield weapon. We're going to get the attack boost, which is pretty important. Nihil Showcase is a series of individual levels strung together in place of an actual full game speedrun. Full game speedrun of this takes about just over 4 hours. Or sorry, takes well long over 4 hours. A full game speedrun of this takes about 7 to 8 hours. From what I remember, and just even like an any % run could take several hours to, you know, 4. So, but anyways, we're gonna go boot up our Odogoron here. So he's in 7-star, and here we go. So our boy is chilling at 11 is where we want to drop in at, and it's ready to go. And what's up, Finger Quick? That Guitar Hero that you showed off was pretty spectacular. Don't know how you do it, but I guess we know how you got your name, the Finger Quick. So, Frankerface Z here. We're gonna find him as soon as he comes out of his burrow, and we're gonna beat on him until he goes back to the burrow, and then we're gonna give him a nice little surprise. So that's the plan anyways. We're gonna come down here, and he should be coming out of the hole. Where are you, Mr. Odo? So, there you are. How you doing, boy? We're gonna beat on Mr. Odo here. We're gonna got Mr. Franker here. We're gonna ride him cowboy. Hopefully have him topple over so we get some free damage on him. There you go, we made him hit a wall here. Alright, so he's on the ground now, so now we're free. So we're pretty mobile with the sword and shield, which is really nice. And we also have a white polish on our weapon, which is also really good. That means we're able to output maximum damage without worry of too much issues. But he's also stunned right now, which is pretty good. power slams there, breaking off more pieces of him. It's a good way to know, you know, how close he is to being dead as well. Alright, so that wore off there. We're going to quickly swap mantles. So the temporal mantle benefit of it is it lets you automatically evade attacks that would otherwise do lots of damage. So it's a pretty good mantle to have. It's basically like a cheat escape without worrying too much about taking a devastating hit that would normally do a lot of damage or potentially kill you. There is still unblockable attacks that the mantle won't evade, some of them anyways. I don't know off the top of my head which attacks it doesn't prevent. I just try to dodge most of those attacks to begin with, just in case not one that I was familiar with that the mantle could block. But for the most part, yeah. Anyways, we got his tail off. He's pretty tired now, so we're just gonna beat on our boy a little bit more. He's pretty much had it with us at this point. Got a nice little temporal mantle block here. So he's running. Not sure where he's running to. They just ran up here. That's no biggie. We're gonna take a second here and polish up. We're just gonna take the mantle off. Alright. So the Odo is pretty fast moving compared to some of the other mons out there. There is some faster ones as well. Alright, we got a nice charge up on that, so that was good. So we got a paralyze off. Alright, so he's gonna run. Are you running away now? Are you re-engaging? You're re-engaging. Okay. We're supposed to run to your nest. I thought that's what you were gonna do. That's fine. Now I think he's going to his nest, yeah. Alright, that's good. Alright, so we're full health already. We do have gobblers on, which let us use items significantly faster than most others would be able to. I also have mega barrel bombs here selected. It's a pretty useful tool in doing hunts, especially in this game. So we're a little tuckered out there. You're holding down sprint the entirety of the time. That's fine and dandy. We're going to make up Mr. Odo here. Some big old bombs. Boom. So he's really aggravated with us at this point. I mean, I would be too. I just woke him. Someone just woke me up from sleeping. But he was just like one hit away from death. But yeah, those barrel bombs are pretty devastating. So generally at the end of the hunt, you'll sit there and you'll carve them, and that's why the timer's there. It gives you a bit of time to collect any materials or stuff off the boss mons that you killed. But in most cases, I don't need anything particularly as a carve off anything. I'm mostly just looking for decorations, and you get those just by doing hunts. And those are completely RNG. There's some people that'll get, you know, a boatload of like really good decorations, especially like the very rare attack jewels. But, I mean, I got one. I got one attack jewel, and I've been farming them since the day this game came out, and I have not got a single other one. I've tried crafting them, and that's still RNG as well, so you have to use your less useful gems to craft into higher tier, potentially, gems, but most of the time I just get even junkier gems. Yeah. Attacks that don't directly target the hunter. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, charms are an interesting item as well, because they've been in Monster Hunter games for quite a long time. I can't remember a Monster Hunter game I played without charms. Charms are I think, a lot better in this game, but you can't socket charms like you could in the previous games. So that was one big difference that I saw. So our next hunt is, I guess we'll do the Eater of Elders as our next hunt. So we're going to swap on over to our heavy bowgun here, which is the Lunastra heavy bowgun variant of the bowgun that we were using a little while ago. And we're going to swap our gear and items as well to particularly use this one as well. I think I grabbed the red items, right? I have to check the name of the weapon. Yeah, cannon. Alright, so we got the right items here. I need to reorganize my item list a bit more. I haven't done that in quite a while. I just like copy and pasted the equipment sets over to a different tab and rename them, so I knew exactly which equipments to load, but I didn't actually think I had enough to do that for the items. So we're gonna get a attack boost here, and then we're going to boot up the Eater of Elders, which can go one of two ways. It could be a fun one or a challenging one, based on a lot of things. Yeah, we'll boot up this one. So we're gonna start at Camp 16 here. The reason for that is it's closest to him, and since we have that available, you know, why the hell not use it? I wasn't specifically talking about deco farming, no. I just know that it's very difficult to do and takes a lot of time, and I've done quite a bit of it in the past. Most of the time, to do deco farming, you're going to do tempereds, and you're going to do investigations for that. That's the best way that I found to get decorations. Sometimes there's special events that come up every so often that rotate in, and you can do those, and some of those have pretty good odds for decorations as well. Not the ideal landing spot, but it's close enough that it doesn't make a difference. We're going to go ahead here and get everything going. Oh. We're gonna load up our snipe shot here, and we have cluster bombs on this build. We'll see why shortly, and hopefully it goes well in our favor, because that could be kind of annoying. So we're gonna hopefully get some nice shots lined up. I mean, that wasn't too bad. Alright, so our boy is not being too bad with us right now. Yorgi can be a bit temperamental. But we're gonna go ahead here and switch to some slicing rounds as well. Alright, so our boy does a lot of damage, which is one of the reasons why I really hate fighting him a lot of the time. I also don't have gobblers on this set. We're gonna have to be a little careful. So his spines are sticking up, and if we can get the slice shots on him, they do significantly more damage that way. So he roared. Unfortunately, we don't have Rocksteady on, so we have to put up with that. So that attack there, if he was targeting me with it, not the Palico, it's pretty devastating. It has a pretty large hitbox, and it can just utterly destroy you without you realizing it, because it does a lot of damage. Most of the time it's a one-shot. But, I mean, this fight either goes, I die once and I still get a decent, you know, a decent fight with him, or you know, he plays nice and goes down pretty easily. Alright, so our mantles wore out. So I'm going to need to heal before I can do anything else. So the easiest way to do that is just... Yeah, so he just did that. That's fine. If anything, that actually saves me going back to the tent here to get more cluster bombs. So we're just gonna do that then. So, thanks, I guess. But yeah, attack decorations, I think you get one guaranteed by the end of the game. I'm not sure about everything else at all. I haven't had too much experience with running the game as like from start to finish. I do want to do that at some point, but I definitely see that taking a lot of time and practice. Oh, great. Yeah, so there's that extremely large hitbox I was talking about. A lot of the time, even though you try to avoid it, he still hits you, so just try your best and not wind up into that. He's just not cooperating today. This is the one that I usually have problems with, though. Should have been dead by now, but fine. I think the craziest weapon to use against this guy, especially, is the bow variant speedruns that I've seen. Like, that is just nuts with the wall running critical boost damage that you get. Is just absolutely insane. Alright, so we're gonna want to make sure that we're healed up here. Or wait for him to sleep. Make sure he's sleeping. We should have a mantle up pretty soon, but I think he's going to be dead before that happens. So we do also have focus on with this build. That... What? That didn't even go off. Alright. Wake the hell up. So it gives us some time to reload here. Rocksteady's almost off cooldown, which is good. Where are you going? Come on, Nerdy. Stop playing around here. He's just not being cooperative today. Just want you to die. Eat the clusters. There we go. So we did wipe. Not too bad. I'm curious of what the actual time was. I mean, 7 minutes is you know, a little slow because of the wipe. But it could definitely be a lot faster with my builds. There is really fast times, and they have some crazy decorations and, you know, setups that I just can't do right now because I don't have the decorations to make the adjustments. So you have to really work around the gear and the decorations you have, because there's some benefits that you can't, you know, take full advantage of without certain decorations or without certain gear, and that means that you're farming either way, and this whole game is just a big farm fest, and you know, that's fun and all. It's definitely enjoyable, but when it comes down to speedrunning, it means that you have to put a lot of work behind, like in first, before you can actually do any like particular speedruns in the IL categories, really. You can definitely do like basic gear and stuff, but I wouldn't expect any decent times without proper gear or, you know, some decent gear that you put together. Yeah, the free teleport back to base camp just from getting the wipe, yeah. I mean, you got 3 attempts in most of the hunts, so in some cases you'll want to take advantage of that. But yeah, TAs, that's definitely something that's not allowed. There's a lot of stuff in TAs that you're not allowed to do, and it's, to me, the TAs, they're rough. They're rough to do because there's a lot of things that can just happen randomly, like having another Mon come into the area that you're fighting the target at, and then just start a brawl, and that just automatically invalidates the TA speedruns. So that's something to keep that in mind when doing those. You also can't use any of the ammos that you fire from your slingshots and all sorts of other stuff.
Are you okay?
Yeah, it's pretty much reset city as far as TA speedruns go, and I'm not sure why a lot of people like doing them, but you know, playing the game with the mechanics it gives you is more up my alley, so that's why I do the RTA speedruns rather than TA. Or, sorry, well, I say RTA, but it's still timed in-game anyways. That's the same thing with both of them, but the rule set's a bit differently when you're doing TA runs compared to just doing regular, because anything goes pretty much as far as what you can use. So yeah, Eater Elders is down. Trying to see if that Rathlos is not there. I got a little bit of time left, so we'll do one more hunt. I'm not sure what it'll be. Boy, what's in the events? Oh god. Greeting the Gluttons is a pretty interesting one. We'll do that one. That should be a quick, simple one to do with the amount of time that I got remaining here. Boot that up. I don't need to eat or anything like that for this one, and I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference. But I did forget to reset my ammo and stuff, but that should be fine. We can quickly do that anyways. Alright, so there's the tent there. Quickly grab it in here, go in here, manage items. Do that all in the hunt, because we can. That's something that was added more recently to the Monster Hunter Worlds that you never used to be able to do in the other Monster Hunters. Being able to gear swap and eat all well owed on the go, rather than waiting to do that. Alright, so I'm gonna do quick loads on gear. If I'm allowed to do that, that'd be great. Alright, so this is some bat dragon thing. But yeah, we have all three of these guys in here, which is pretty interesting. We're gonna throw the rock steady on. That wasn't really that great of a shot. So we are poisoned right now, which is totally fine. So we already got one dead. Actually, both are dead. Didn't really even realize that. Jaggy doesn't even take much to kill, really. The Jaggy is like a walk in the park in most cases. That one's done as well. So that one's a really, really short one, even though it's 3 mons at once. Yeah, just under 3 minutes. Could be even faster depending on the weapons you use as well. I had one set up a while back that I got rid of, but I was using the weapons similar to like the Anjanath cannon, where it just has the guttling gunfire. The Shatter Scythe has that too, but I had a particular setup that just revolved around max critting with that like crazy. We did some pretty insane stuff with some of these arena fights with setups like that, where me and a few people that I knew, we were playing back a while back when we were really grinding out this game, but we needed money. That's the one thing we spent a lot of time spending in this game, was the in-game money, the Zenny, as they call it, and buying equipment and upgrading it and all sorts of stuff. So without Zenny, you can't do a whole lot. So we found an interesting few methods to farm it, and involved wearing bandit mantles and, you know, firing up your automatic, you know, heavy bow guns there and just unloading with max crit and just wrecking things and just watching the arena floor turn to gold. Pretty interesting. It was made a lot of money that way, and it's kind of why I have a lot of Zetting now, even though I've gone through all of it like 6 times over. But it's a good way to get money. But anyways, that's all I have for the Monster Hunter Isle showcase. I definitely do want to pick up running this game in the ending percent categories, and that might be something to do in the future. But it does take a lot of large time investment because the runs are very long and all that jazz. But anyways, that's all I have for myself. We're going to be switching restreamers, and then we'll be setting up for the next run. So hang on tight, and we'll be back. Thanks.